The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has arrived to the United States of America, where he intends to campaign and explain his policies to Nigerians in the diaspora and the international community. Well, Atiku is reportedly commencing the week-long electioneering campaign in the U.S., where he hopes to also meet with the American business community and PDP members in America. Well, Emeka Kalu, who is the chieftain of the PDP and the Director General of the PDP support group, articulated agenda worldwide, joins us now from the United States. Thank you so much, Emeka, for joining us tonight on the program. And of course, let's talk tonight. He's meeting with Nigerians in the diaspora and also meeting with the business communities. But can you talk to us about what exactly in his manifesto that Atiku is offering the business community in the U.S.? Let's take it from there.
Well, thank you for having me. And Atiku is here actually to speak with the business community and then the PDP chapter of the USA. And of course, we all know what is going on in Nigeria, and everybody knows the Atiku manifesto. Atiku manifesto stands for itself. This is a man who is there to get Nigeria working again. So he's here to speak with people who is in diaspora, who has impact in Nigeria, so that way they'll be able to understand exactly the reason why it's important to elect someone like Atiku Abubakar, so that he can be able to get Nigeria working again. Given the security problem that we have in Nigeria, given the infrastructural development that is not moving in Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar in his manifesto have said it, that nothing is going to be left behind, that in the first 1 year he becomes president, he's going to make sure that he curbs the insecurity in Nigeria, which is a paramount thing that everybody's looking at, because these days nobody can go to the east, nobody can go to the north. Abuja-Kaduna road is a big problem. Nobody can ply that road. But Atiku Abubakar, with his experience as a former vice president and as someone who has what it takes to gather Nigeria together as a unifier, someone who can unify the whole country, is here today to speak to Nigerians in diaspora, so that they can give him the maximum support and he can be able to become the next chief executive of Nigeria and be able to get Nigeria working again.
So what exactly do diaspora and Nigerians want to hear from Atiku? I mean, how important really is Atiku's trip to the United States? Is it just about the optics? We do recall around 2019, I mean, there was the issue of whether Atiku could actually enter the United States or not. Is it just the optics, or he really does have a message for diasporans? How will it affect his fortunes at the elections?
Well, Atiku is here for two reasons. One, to meet with Nigerians who are resident here in the United States. Secondly, on invitation of the United States government to come and align with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, so that when he becomes president, he can be able to open up a business channel between the United States and Nigeria. So he is here to actually send a message to Nigerians here in diaspora. That is why he's here today. And I can assure you that Nigerians in diaspora, they are expecting to hear that man who can unify Nigeria, that man that has what it takes to get Nigeria together as one entity. We have not been so divided as we are divided now. And Nigeria needs someone with the experience and has what it takes, the capacity, the intellectual capacity, the working material to get Nigeria together. And that man is Atiku Abubakar. And he's here today to demonstrate that to people, Nigerians in diaspora.
Concerned that Atiku may be going into these elections with a divided party. I mean, you call him a unifier. He does call himself a unifier, like many of his supporters do. Don't you think it could affect his chances come 2023 if he's not able to, paper the broken lines within his own party?
Well, I can tell you something now. What is happening in our party happens to every other party. But I can tell you something. PDP is going into the election with one voice, with one house. It is going to be unified. And all this problem is going to come to an end. And let me tell you something. You have to realize the fact that all these problems have PDP governors, and PDP governors have people who are also running there. And I can tell you that what they're asking for is going to be done. Atiku never said he's not going to do it, but he said, we're going to get it done. Here is the way we're going to get it done. And I can assure you that before the election, that the House is going to be unified, and we are going to go into this election as one fine body here.
Right. Well, Emeka, I want to get specifics, honestly. I still go back to the question I asked you a little earlier. Atiku is meeting with the business community, going by the statement released by his campaign team. He's meeting with business communities in the United States. Talk to us about the specific business opportunities he's trying to sell to that community that you believe would enhance, the Nigerian economy if he eventually emerges as our president?
Well, you can know that Atiku, as a private individual, is a very successful businessman. All his businesses is successful. So he's using that same might that he has in his private business to run Nigeria as an entrepreneur. Because let me tell you something, if you don't run Nigeria as an entrepreneur, that's why Nigeria keeps failing, because the people who has been running Nigeria doesn't have the ability and the business sense to run Nigeria, to make Nigeria a great nation. And because he has set the precedent, he has shown that he has the capacity to run his private companies, he wants to be able to use that mechanism to introduce into the country called Nigeria, so that Nigeria will be run as a company, so that way you will see that Nigeria will succeed. Look at today, look at the deficit that we have as a nation. We have deficit in the tone of $7 and $8 trillion dollars. And I mean, who's going to pay that? It's only someone with experience can be able to get this down, can be able to make this down for our children, can be able to get this down for us as a nation. So that's why he's able to come here today and speak to the business community and tell them why it's important to elect him and make him president, so that he can be able to make sure that everybody is factored in and businesses in America can come back to Nigeria, and then we'll start to have a direct business investments and everything in Nigeria. So that's why he's here today, to speak to them.
Still like to know exactly what specific demands are diasporans in the United States asking of Atiku. Take for instance, diaspora Nigerians cannot vote, they cannot make any inputs apart from maybe their funding. Is that a possible demand that you may be making on Atiku? And then there's the issue of restructuring. He's been saying he will restructure. But then again, people are asking, does he have the political will? Are you asking him specific questions? What answers are you getting? And are you satisfied?
Well, first of all, starting from the people, Nigerians in diaspora, they matter a lot when it comes to Nigerian election, because everybody in diaspora has a clan of people that he's taking care of in Nigeria. And let me tell you something. Let me remind you that those people, when you tell them exactly where they need to go to vote, that is why they're going to vote, because they are praying from you. They are the people who are dependent upon you. And that's why it's paramount that the presidential candidate must come to the United States and speak to people here in the United States, so that they can be able to understand that indeed this is what his manifestos are all about. And again, secondly, I have to tell you that Atiku Abubakar is here for three things that is paramount to Nigerians. One, security. Two, getting the infrastructural development in Nigeria to keep, to move at the pace that is supposed to go. Like, look at today. Look at the length of theft of oil that is going around everywhere. Why is it happening that way? When we have a government, and what is the paramount function of a government? We cannot see it here. And Atiku Abubakar government will be able to straighten out all this. We'll be able to make this work for Nigerians. And that's why he's here today, to speak to people that are here, stakeholders that understands the narratives in Nigeria. So I can tell you, there are people here in America, they cannot go to Nigeria just because of the insecurity. So we need someone who has the intellectual capacity, who has what it takes as a president to narrate and fix the insecurity in Nigeria. And that's why he's here today, to assure Nigerians that yes, if voted in as president, he will be able to fix and get Nigeria working again.
Well, Emeka Kalu would have to say thank you so much. Of course, Emeka Kalu is the chieftain of the PDP and the Director General of the PDP support group Articulated Agenda Worldwide.